of the season at the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm back. I missed last week, but thank you for joining tonight. Promises to be another good race once again around the Circuit de Catalunya here in Barcelona. Drivers heading out on track now. Once again, Owen, the first one to jump out of the pits, followed by Tank, who was disqualified rather unfairly, I think. Really? So I think he'll be very pleased with the lobby restart. So, Owen, the first one to start his qualifying lap here in this short qualifying session. 18 minutes, as I said. We're already 2 minutes into that as he comes into the first chicane. So a little bit more pressure on the drivers here with a short qualifying session. Any mistakes now, if you spin out, could be ruining the a set of tyres for you. Yeah, I know many people are not playing F1 2020 now, but we're going to be moving over in a few weeks' time over to 2021. Hopefully they'll have sorted all the online lobbies out by then. But here comes Owen now coming through Sector 2. There is a car not too far in front of him. That is Lewis in the Racing Point. Hopefully he won't get in the way. And Lamb, if you're not on 2020, you're only on 2021, that's fine. As I said, a few weeks' time we'll be moving over to the new game anyway, so we can just get you in for that one. So here comes Owen now across the line to complete his first flying lap, and he does a 16.2. That's a very good lap. Good start from him. Auntie Val now coming into the final chicane. Tank has backed out of his lap. But let's see what Auntie Val can do as he goes across the line. He goes second fastest. Good lap time from him. And there's a Haas about to cross the line, which is Napier. He goes third fastest. Tank has had his first lap time disallowed. Just trying to see who's going to be the next one across the line. It is Pierce Gaming. Here he is coming out of the last corner. He's on the mediums to start with. He does an 18.4. Tank's about to complete his lap, but we know he's had his lap time disallowed. But so here comes Lewis now in the Racing Point. Down into the final chicane, and there's yellow flag in sector 1. That's Pierce Gaming. Oh, and Lewis has had his first lap disallowed and dives straight into the pits. So Hobgoblin about to start his flying lap. He's on the medium tyres as well. So let's see what he can do. Quickest on the mediums at the moment is Davis in the McLaren on a 1:17.4. Can he get anywhere near that or indeed beat it? Will he try and qualify on those medium tyres and start the race on them? And we saw him spin a couple of times. Oh, I was going to say down in turn 2. He's had his lap disallowed immediately as Tank is diving into the pits. Pierce Gaming's heading out on track. Brand new set of soft tyres from him. Set his first lap time on the mediums. Lewis is on his out lap. Auntie Val's gone back out on track as well. Auntie Val looking good there in the Haas in third place. So Lewis now coming down towards the first chicane. Through turn 3, absolutely flat. Fastest time at the moment is a 1:16.1 from Owen as Lewis now comes down to the middle sector, and another good middle sector. Can Lewis? We're yet to see a time this evening in the 1:15s. Could this be it? As he comes into the last corner, a little bit wide there. Didn't quite get the nose of the car in. Through the final chicane. And the last corner absolutely flat. And Lewis goes across the line, and it's provisional pole, 1:15.9. So Auntie Val at 10th up in the first sector. It's the quickest of all so far. Quickest first sector of all so far from Auntie Val. Can he throw himself up towards the front as Tank has retired from the session. He spun it out of turn 4. So Tank is 7th on the grid at the moment. That's going to be as good as it gets for him. And Auntie Val has backed out of this lap. Here comes Hobgoblin across the line, and he goes 3rd. Look at that lap time. On the medium tyres, he's done a 1:16.2. That's a very good lap indeed. This gaming's going again, 9th fastest at the moment. And his first sector time, he's a fraction up on his best. We got just over 7.5 minutes to go in this session. And at the moment, Lewis is on pole position on a 1:15.9. Owen alongside him, Hobgoblin just behind. But Hobgoblin there, if he puts on a set of softs, he could possibly take pole as Pierce has a big slide in the middle of the chicane in the middle of the lap. But still absolutely going for it. Down into the end of the second sector point. He's a second up. So this would put him around Davis and Napier at the moment as things stand, who are 6th and 7th. Steph has gone back out as well in the Renault. As Pierce now into the last corner, or the last chicane anyway. A little bit wide on the way in. And he does a 1:17.1. That puts him 6th fastest. So 6th fastest there for Pierce. So Lewis is currently on provisional pole. He's gone out on a set of medium tyres when he set his first lap time on the soft, so not quite sure why. But anyway, Owen is 2nd, Hobgoblin is 3rd, Husky is 4th, Auntie Val is 5th, Pierce Gaming is now 6th for Red Bull, 7th is Davis, 8th is Napier, who's just dived into the pits. Tank is 9th, but we have seen him crash out, so that's as good as he's going to get for him. And here is Copper Queen about to start her lap as she comes through the last corner. So let's see how she gets on. 1:19.0 at the moment, 10th fastest down into turn 1. Got the nose in very nice there. Turn 2 as well, looking good. And completely flat in turn 3. Fraction down in the first sector on the previous best lap time. Down to turn 5. This tricky hairpin, but carried a lot of speed into the corner. That was very good there from Copper Queen. Down into this quick chicane. Easy to lose the back end of the car, but kept it nicely under control. Slight lift there in turn 9. You saw how much track was left on the outside. Definitely can take it flat later on. And 3/10 down at the moment in the middle sector. Lewis is also on a lap. Davis and Napier have both gone out on track as well. So Copper Queen now coming into the final chicane. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is Davis, I think, getting out of the way. Husky's out on track now as well, so both McLarens out. But here comes Copper Queen out across the line, and she does a 19.0 again. Fraction off her best. Let's see how Lewis is going to. Only a 10.5 down on his best, despite it being on the medium tyres. 4.5 minutes of the session to go. And he's diving into the pits. And Davis just about to start his lap. Second DRS zone down towards the hairpin at turn 10. And he's now a second up on his best. This should be... and he nearly lost the back end. I was just going to say this should be a mid 1 minute 16. But he will have lost quite a lot of time there. Is he going to keep his foot in, or will he dive into the pits? And put on... very wide in the last chicane. Surely he'll dive in. And he is indeed. He's got just enough time to get another set of tyres on and go again. Napier's backed out of his lap. And Husky's been disqualified. Why has Husky been disqualified? That means he's going to start 10th on the grid. Owen's about to start his lap. Pierce Gaming as well. Bowers on a lap. And he's a tenth and a half up in the first sector. Almost at the end of qualifying. And Auntie Val, purple middle sector. He has found a quarter of a second as Owen goes fastest of all at 1:15.6. Can Lewis respond? He's a fraction down in the first sector. Auntie Val is looking quick as well as we come into the final chicane here with Auntie Val. Can he get himself up the grid? He's fourth at the moment. And he goes across the line. He does a 15.8. That's second on the grid for Auntie Val. What a lap time from him. Lewis is also improving. Can he find enough to snatch pole position as he comes out of the final chicane? Hobgoblin's on a lap. Oh, he's had his lap time disallowed. It's going to be fourth at best for Hobgoblin. And Lewis takes second, 8 thousandths of a second slower than Owen. How close was that? And Pierce Gaming's not going to improve. Here comes Davis a little bit. Oh, and he's gone wide at the last corner. And he's backed out of the lap. He's not going to improve. And that is it. That is the end of qualifying. Owen takes pole position by 8 thousandths of a second here in Spain from Lewis. Auntie Val not too far behind either. Those three looking very quick. Hobgoblin, keep an eye on him, because he set that lap time of 1:16.2 on the medium compound tyres. So he too could be looking very, very quick here this evening as well. Grid, Owen on pole from Lewis. Auntie Val in third. Hobgoblin in fourth. Pierce Gaming fifth. Davis is going to be sixth on the grid. The formation lap. Let me just run you through the grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Unfortunately, not a lot of people with us tonight, but hopefully next week we will definitely have some more. Owen on pole position, his first pole position of the season in the Renault. Lewis alongside him, 8 thousandths of a second separated those two in qualifying. Auntie Val, his best qualifying, I think his best qualifying ever here in the league, up in third place in the Haas. Hobgoblin in fourth place, but he does start on those medium compound tyres, so he could be one to watch. Maybe could make a one-stop strategy work around here. Pierce Gaming lines up in fifth place. Davis lines up sixth in the McLaren. Seventh for Napier in the second Haas. Tank in eighth in the Ferrari. Copper Queen in ninth in the Renault, her best qualifying so far, and 10th for Husky, disqualified in qualifying. Not quite sure why. I think probably another game glitch. But he is going to line up in 10th position on the grid. Here we go. The 5 lights are coming on. His lights out, and away we go. A good start there from Owen as he moves straight over to the right-hand side. He knows what good starts Lewis has had recently. And Auntie Val's had a cracking start as well. Auntie Val trying to go around the outside, and Lewis down into turn 1. Almost contact between those two. Lewis braking desperately late to try and hang on to second. Hobgoblin slotted in nicely into third, into fourth place. But Owen leads away. Great start from him. Lewis has made some cracking starts in the last few races, but not quite staying. Hobgoblin really putting Auntie Val under pressure straight away. And there's a spinner, and Steph has retired from the race. Copper Queen is out. Was there contact with someone else? I'm not quite sure. We have a virtual safety car. But Copper Queen is out of the race on lap 1. We have a virtual safety car while they clear away the Renault. So the race will get neutralised. And here, leading the race, Owen from Lewis. Auntie Val in third. Hobgoblin in fourth. Napier fifth. Davis sixth. Husky seventh. Pierce in eighth. And ninth for Tank. Virtual safety car should be ending anytime soon. They've cleared that Renault away. And Lewis will be hoping for a good restart. And here we go. They're back racing once again as they complete lap 1. Is anyone going to have to pit at the end of the first lap? I don't think they are, but Owen leads. Ignore the graphic on the left-hand side. It's completely wrong. Owen is still in the lead of the race as he goes into turn 1 with Lewis in second. Auntie Val in third and Hobgoblin in fourth place. That is the order at the moment, and already the top four starting to break away from the rest, leading by just 0.6 of a second from Lewis, who has the fastest lap of the race so far. Auntie Val dropping back a little bit in third, has got Hobgoblin for company, but don't forget Hobgoblin there on the medium tyres. So is Davis in sixth position, so they could be ones to watch later on as Huskies gets past Davis. So the two McLarens there, maybe a little bit of teamwork going on there between the two McLarens, because Husky is on the soft tyres compared to his teammate on the mediums, and Napier in fifth place, really coming under pressure. Owen sets fastest lap of the race in the lead. Lewis has dropped back a little bit, and here goes Husky having a look at Napier. This is for fifth and sixth position as Davis into the pit, so maybe there's damage there for the McLaren. Is he going to have to change the front wing? Tank has pitted and put on a set of hard tyres, but he did spin as he comes out the pits. Another set of mediums going on, and yes, change of front wing for the McLaren there of Davis. He should come out still in eighth position. Hobgoblin is hanging on very nicely indeed there in fourth place. Husky has got past Napier and up into fifth. So Husky having a very strong start to this race as well. Pierce Gaming is in seventh place, and then Davis and Tank are both stopped. Tank has gone onto the hard tyres, so he's going to be going a long way into this race, and Davis has put on another set of mediums, so he will be going a fair distance on those tyres. And Lewis coming back at Owen once again. Lewis fastest lap of the race, a 1:19.4. He's just over a second clear as Hobgoblin in the DRS of Auntie Val riding on board with the AlphaTauri, not quite close enough into turn one, but certainly getting closer, and he could be one to watch as those soft tyres go off. The medium tyre of Hobgoblin should get stronger and stronger, and he's really pushing that Haas as he gets a penalty, running a little bit wide in turn three. But Hobgoblin all over the back of that Haas. There's a 5-second gap behind them to Husky, who's pulling away very quickly indeed from the second Haas of Napier. We're on lap 5. It's a 33-lap race here. And look at how close the top four are. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's Davis spun. Davis has spun at turn 2. Must have just hit the curb. Already into the pit. So Lewis, is he going to try the undercut on Owen? And here goes Hobgoblin on Auntie Val. This is now for second place. And Hobgoblin is through. Hobgoblin takes second place away from Auntie Val. So those medium tyres, after just 5 laps of this race, are really starting to look a lot stronger. Owen comes around. Yes, Owen straight into the pit lane. So what is going to happen now between him and Lewis, leader, and Husky also pits from what was third place. So it is Hobgoblin in the lead. He's not losing an awful lot of time though. This lap time here, he does a 1:19.8, only a fraction off his best so far. And let's see what Owen is doing. 19.8 from Hobgoblin. Let's see what this lap time is from Owen. He does a 19.5, so only 0.3 of a second slower. And Lewis in the DRS and the slipstream on the way down towards turn 1. Not close enough, but it certainly pulled him a lot closer to the back of the Renault. Husky's made a mistake out there on the racetrack. He's dropped a few seconds, still in 5th place, but only 2 seconds clear of Napier now in 6th, as Pierce Gaming is also closing up on Napier as well. So those three getting quite close. Back to this battle for second place. Owen from Lewis. They've just dipped under 15 seconds clear of Hobgoblin, who's done a 19.7. That's his best lap so far for Hobgoblin. But Hobgoblin calmly leads the Grand Prix. And now he pits. Lap 11 of the race. Might be a little bit early. Let's see what tyres he goes on to. But he could go on to another set of mediums and go a little bit further into the race. Let's have a look what tyre. He's a set of hards. So he might be trying the one stop here. Hobgoblin. They might go 22 laps as Lewis sets fastest lap of the race on a 1:19.0. Look how close he is now to Owen. Owen having to go defensive they're really pushing each other here now. Hobgoblin has come out 6 seconds behind them in third place on a set of hard tyres, possibly trying to go to the end. These two will definitely have to stop again, and Hobgoblin as well has got a nice bit of clear racetrack in front of him. Goes Lewis once again. DRS wide open, Owen having to go defensive, but Lewis still manages to squeeze up the inside. And Lewis and Owen braking so late round the outside. And then there's contact, and Lewis has spun. Lewis spins the racing point. Oh, and that's Auntie Val spun. Auntie Val hit the grass in turn 3 and has spun the Haas. So 2 spinners on this lap. And Auntie Val's going to drop behind his teammate here as well. So Auntie Val drops to 6. Oh, and he's got really hot tyres and he's struggling. And Pierce Gaming snatches him as well. Snatches the position away from him. So contact was made between Lewis and Owen. Just an unfortunate spin, so unlucky there, Lewis. Maybe just hit the curb a little bit hard. But now Owen needs to push, because if Hobgoblin is not stopping again, because we don't know what strategies these guys are running, but if Hobgoblin is not stopping again, and Owen is, he needs to at least get that gap close, further away than it is. 6.5 seconds is not going to be an awful lot, and would give Hobgoblin a 15 or so second lead when Owen does make his second stop. So at the moment, you've got to say, Hobgoblin looking very, very strong. Despite that penalty, he's looking very strong indeed for potentially a race victory here this evening, which would help. Meanwhile, Pierce Gaming has now closed to within 1.5 seconds of Napier, and the other Haas of Auntie Val is also closing. So there could be a big battle about to ensue for 5th, 6th and 7th. And also Davis not that far behind in 8th place either in the McLaren. So it could be a big battle about to take place between those 4 cars. They're all closing up on each other. So let's see what the lap times are. Penalty for Lewis as well. Won't be having that. Let's see what the lap time is here for Owen. He does a 1:20.2. Hobgoblin does a 1:19.5. 0.7 of a second quicker. Hobgoblin is closing the gap down quickly now. It's less than 6 seconds between the top 2, and Hobgoblin is flying. Husky also lapping on about the leader's pace there in 4th place. But now, here we go. Auntie Val trying to come back after his mistake at turn 3. Less than a second behind Pierce Gaming, who's just over a second behind Napier. So the Red Bull at the moment is the meat in a Haas sandwich. Look how close Pierce is to the back of Napier now. If these 3 start fighting hard, then Davis can start to close the gap. Oh, and Pierce makes a mistake in the chicane, and Auntie Val's through. While the lead gap is still at around 5.5 seconds now. As Hobgoblin continues to chip away at the race lead. He's still 5.5 seconds clear of Lewis, who cannot seem to make any impression on the Alpha Tauri in front of him. As Napier gets another penalty, he's now going to be defending from Pierce Gaming. In the fight for 6, and there is Davis in the background. He's taken over a second out of those 3 in the last lap, and he'll certainly be hoping that Napier and Pierce start fighting hard so he can close the gap up even more. Tank is still running in 9th position. Still some good points on offer for him here today. As there is Pierce right there. He's got the DRS on Napier. And look at Pierce all over the back of Napier. Let's see where Lewis comes out. I think he's going to be hoping for a bit of clear traffic. So the mediums on for him. They'll also go to the end. Here comes Auntie Val. It's going to be close between Lewis and Auntie Val. I think Lewis will be hoping to be in front of him. And he is, just about. Napier also pits. So does Pierce Gaming. So racing the mechanics now. Hard tyres going on for the Red Bull. Another set of mediums going on to the Haas. And looked like a front wing change actually for the Red Bull. Auntie Val also pits. But Auntie Val, after another spin, his second spin of the race, has dropped back behind his teammate. Now, will Napier let him pass so easily this time? Go the two Haas cars, and Napier does go defensive, and Auntie Val is going to have to fight for this. But with the DRS, easily through, and retakes 5th position. But Hobgoblin is looking seriously good here for his second win in the league. He won at Monza last season. Auntie Val now sets fastest lap of the race. Really pushing. Now in 5th position, but he's 13 seconds as Napier and David. Oh, and Napier spun it! Oh, how did he catch that one? But well done, Napier, for hanging on to that. But Davis is through, up into 6th position now. Hobgoblin pits. Hobgoblin into the pits. A set of soft tyres going on, so it was a 2-stop strategy for him. Owen retakes the lead. Now, is Lewis going to get him as well? It's going to be close. I wasn't expecting Hobgoblin to pit again, I've got to say. But he comes out in 2nd position. Now, does he have the pace to catch Owen? He's got to catch him, get ahead, and then get 3 seconds clear because he has a penalty, whereas Owen doesn't. So Owen here could be looking at his first ever win in the league in the Renault. And Hobgoblin absolutely flying there in that AlphaTauri. Oh, and Owen's left the session. He's got some technical issues. So let's have a look. And yes, Hobgoblin is going to take the lead of the race. And he sets fastest lap as well. And Owen is just rejoining now, just as he's lost the lead. Now the question is, can Hobgoblin get 3 seconds in the last few laps to keep that race victory? He's got a penalty in this race. Owen does not. Husky up into 3rd place after Lewis's stop. Lewis is going to face the same problem now. Look at Husky trying to hang on to the podium position at the moment, weaving down the straight. Surely Lewis is going to have the inside line into the first corner. And he does indeed, but Lewis has gone a little bit deep. And Husky around the outside of turn 2 hangs on. Great racing between those two. And Husky hangs on to 3rd for now. Don't forget, Lewis has a penalty for all the while Husky can keep him behind. It means there's less and less chance of him getting that podium spot round the outside in turn 5. It's going to be all about traction, surely on the freshest soft tyres. Lewis is going to have it, and he does indeed. Lewis takes 3rd away from Husky. Now he's got to push. He's got 3 second penalties. He's got to push to get that gap. Hobgoblin leads the race. Another fastest lap. And he's got a 3 second lead already. Has Owen got anything left? He's just over 3 seconds. Lewis coming through to complete the lap. Husky's got to hang on as much as he can in the last couple of laps to snatch what I think will be his first podium in this league. Lewis is going to be going for fastest lap to try and get an extra point. But Husky hanging on in the DRS. Oh, Hobgoblin here. Well, he made what has turned out to be a brilliant decision of starting the race on the medium tyres. Has done a 2-stop, but has gone on to the softs right at the end, which has proved really favourable to him. Just don't get a penalty and don't make a mistake on this last lap, Hobgoblin, and you should just hang on to the race victory. As he enters turn 10, keeps it nicely on the road. Owen will be pushing as hard as he can as well. On the last lap, can Lewis pull out about 8/10 on the last lap to maintain his podium position? But Hobgoblin now comes through the final chicane, And he keeps it on the road. And Hobgoblin wins the Spanish Grand Prix. What a drive from him. From 4th on the grid. Owen takes 2nd. And, well, in the end, I think Owen has some penalties there as well. Now, this is going to be close. Can Lewis hang on to the final podium spot, or will Husky snatch it right at the death? I think Husky might just snatch this, you know. Lewis takes 3rd. Oh, no, he doesn't. He had a great final lap. A 17.8 to snatch the final lap, the fastest lap of the race. But Husky does take 3rd position away from Lewis. So Husky on the podium. Auntie Val coming through to finish in 5th position. Great points for him. Davis takes 6th. Napier is going to come through to take 7th position. Or will he? Because, oh, he spins across the line. So Napier takes 8th. Pierce takes 7th. And Tank is going to be the last finisher in 9th position. The fan vote driver of the day is going to go to Hobgoblin. My driver of the day, it's a tough one to choose actually out there today, but I think I'm also going to give it to I'm going to give it to Husky actually. Great drive from him. Held on brilliantly on those medium tyres toward the end of the race, and he takes 3rd position right at the end away from Lewis. So thank you to everyone for joining tonight for the Spanish Grand Prix.